Welcome to a special China edition of the BullHorn, all China all the time. Howard, as you know, obviously President Hu Jintao here in the U.S. meeting with President Obama and several big U.S. CEOs. Let's talk about American businesses that are in China already, and what are some of the attractive growth opportunities for some of those companies. What are people on the stream talking about?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk, obviously, about the fact that I had Chinese food for lunch and dinner last night. But after that, for example, Yum Brands, I think they're projecting 75% of their revenue to come from Asian operations.
It's phenomenal,
so I think they have come. And I mean that in a clean way. Caterpillar,
right.
John Deere, huge markets for them in China. They've been exploiting it and developing there for many years, and their earnings are showing.
Right. You mentioned Caterpillar. They did an interesting deal last year where they started selling yuan bonds in Hong Kong. That's something that McDonald's is doing as well. Do you think that there will be more U.S. companies looking to tap into the Chinese debt market?
I think, listen, with the help of a good market right there right now, I think like any good banker will advise their client, when you can raise money, you should.
Another sector, I think, an industry that's doing a lot of business in China right now is the auto sector. GM obviously comes to mind. How important do you think is China going to be for GM, Ford, maybe even Chrysler, since China sales have already surpassed the U.S.?
From a cultural and style and product fit, they've been there, they've been working on products there. The question is it style over, culture? But American culture is our best export, and, I actually have faith that we'll be able to do better there than we will here.
Right. Flipping things around, companies in China that trade on the U.S., not necessarily companies that are doing business in the U.S., but there are a lot of tech stocks that are very hot stocks on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, companies like Baidu, of course, the Google of China, Ctrip, which is something we've talked about in the past. What are some of the Chinese ADRs that you find attractive right now?
Well, I've been watching them. I'm not a Chinese expert per se. I like to buy American businesses doing business in China. But Sina, they are one of the hottest web companies in China, and they own the Twitter of China called Weibo.
Okay.
And so what's interesting there is Twitter has a $5 billion market cap, $4 billion market cap here in the U.S. And Sina, which is one of the largest internet companies in China, has a $5 billion market cap and owns the Twitter of China. So
right.
It's an interesting story on how you can project businesses that work well in the United States or ideas that are working well into the Chinese market.
So to wrap up, there have been a couple of prominent IPOs, Youku, Dangdang, an e-commerce company and an online video company in China that have done extremely well since debuting in the U.S. Are you worried at all that maybe what's going on with .com, China stocks circa 2010, 2011 could be analogous to what happened with U.S. .coms in 98, 99, 2000, just too much froth?
I don't worry anymore. I think it's a data point that we all have to use and say, listen, things are getting a little silly. If Americans can't find great companies here to trade in the United States and are trading brand new IPOs in China, to me, that's definitely a data point that would show me that we're getting a little silly.